Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is holding on after this past week that we've had. I really hope that things are kind of like settling. I'm wishful thinking. I don't think they are, but I'm just like I'm putting it out there. So I do kind of have a little like weird info from Spirit. They are a little bit hands off right now. They're a little bit watching to see what happens, watching to see how things played out. The way that Spirit explained this like hands off to me is they were like, it's kind of like when you make this entire theoretical project and you spend like 10, 20 years building out this physical theoretical thing, right? You're trying to prove it and it's still theoretical and you're spending the past 2 decades trying to build this thing to prove it. And the moment finally comes and you switch it on and there's nothing that you can do but stand back and see what happens. So I can say that this is not the worst timeline. I can say that I have a lot of hope for the future. I can say that I think that at the end of this, we are going to come out strong. But at the same time, it's a little bit tricky when Spirit is taking a little step back too. So hopefully that doesn't last too long. I did ask them and they told me 30 days and I didn't accept that answer. So I don't know if that's accurate or not. I really hope not. But if it is, we have a community here. We can support each other. We can get through it. We'll be okay. That being said, I am really excited to share with you what I've built for you this week. So I've built a couple little journal pages that are titled Center of the Universe. And they are exercises that I will talk about in a second, but are exactly like it sounds, building a universe with yourself at the center. And this is something that both Spirit has been kind of slowly but strongly telling me is going to be a really big deal that we really need to start taking some time and thinking about, and things that we need to consider with ourselves and society and how they're intertwined and not intertwined and all of the effects that we have there. But I also think it's a really good time to just do this thought exercise where if we could build something from the ground up, not fix something, not take what we have and how would we fix it? If we were brand spanking new, nothing had ever been created yet, how would we create this system? How would we create something to fill this need? Would there still be a need if these other things never existed? And so it's kind of a really good time, I think, to just do something that is both serious and a little bit lighthearted, because I think we can just kind of enjoy a little bit of fun. I think we deserve to be silly also. Again, this exercise is called Center of the Universe, and I really hope that it's just silly, funny. But I also hope that it helps us to kind of start to be aware of things, to just notice. We're not diving deep in. We're not doing anything crazy right now. We're just being aware of where we are, what's going on, what is influencing, and how everything interacts, right? Just start to think about these things, because they are really heavy things that we do need to spend some time thinking about. We do need to deconstruct within ourselves and deconstruct as a society, but also things that I think can teach us a lot about ourselves as well, a lot about who we are, how we became who we are. And also I'm hoping to just kind of just start tiptoeing back into our bodies again, because I do have a sneaking suspicion that some of us took a couple steps outside of our body after the election results. And I do want to just slowly start to come back into your body just a little bit, however much is comfortable for you. Now, the first page is obviously the most important page because it's where you declare that this is your universe. The universe belongs to you. Now, this is my personal favorite first page, but I did make a few different ones because I know that that is not everybody's vibe. They do all have this sunshine galaxy type vibe to them to match the color scheme of the rest, because of course we have to make it fun. We need to make it aesthetically pleasing, and I hope you guys love it. But pick your title page. If you don't like any of these, design your own, paper mache it, do a weird cutout from magazines like we used to in the 90s, whatever, go off. But declare this universe belongs to you and make it your own. Make it fit for you. If you want to draw googly eyes on it, if you want to draw like Hitler mustaches, go off. It's your universe. Now, the point of these journal pages is not to deep dive, to just start tiptoeing, to just start being aware, to just start paying attention to, right? So we're going to start off easy. My universe, my favorites, and why. Okay, my favorite part of the day, why? Why do you love this part of the day? Why is this your favorite part of the day? That can be very telling about what your day is like and if you're actually taking care of yourself or not. Next, we have favorite holiday and why, also very telling. Favorite food. For this, we don't really need to understand why these are our favorite. Let's focus on what does it make us feel? What does it remind us of? what is the emotion around the food that makes it our favorite? What is it about it? Like, does it just taste so good that it like fills you with ease? It fills you with contentment? Like, Rick, what is everything that's around it that makes that your favorite? And then favorite color, same thing. If you love this color, why? What does it make you feel? What do you relate it with? What does it remind you of? Like, is it just everywhere and you get happy when you see it? That's really good information too, because guess what? If you're having a really bad day and you go look at your favorite color, that could help. And sometimes when we're having a bad day and sometimes when we feel we're like sliding into some depression and stuff, because it happens, having an actual list or like a rescue notebook can be very, very helpful. And if your rescue notebook is your favorite color and it gives you a dopamine rush, look at you hacking the system. You can do it. Okay. And your favorite time of the year. Again, very telling. Why is it your favorite? What does it remind you of? What do you relate it to? Do you have memories involved with it? That one's a really big one a lot of times. Or what are the emotions involved? What are you feeling when it's this time of the year? All of those sort of things. Let's take it page by page. These are my real life answers. I did know some of them, and other ones I'm like, well, yeah, I actually do need to look into that a little bit more. And again, that's knowing about it. Do I need to look into it the second that I find out about it? Absolutely not. I just need to know it's there, and I need to know, like, hey, if anything comes up and there's like some weird pushback or I can't figure out what's going on around that general area, that's a place I can start. That's a place that I can look and I can remember, and it's a little bookmark that Spirit can help remind you when it's time also. So this is not something that we are diving deeply into. We don't need to deep dive into anything right now. Honestly, we need to just take a breather. And so this is for us to get to keep progressing and to keep working on the things that are important to us, understanding ourselves, discovering all of these things about ourselves and our society, and really taking a moment and questioning, how would we redo it if we were able to? How would we change things if we were able to? Because anything is possible right now. Anything is possible. So let's go through my real life answers. Sorry, guys, my kid just came running in talking about like, there's a snake. And sure enough, there was a snake. So we had to get my husband to deal with the snake because he's great and I'm not a snake person. Okay. That's just been the energy. That has been the energy for all of last week and definitely right now. So we're not fighting the energy. We're just flowing through it because if we tried to fight this energy, we'd probably melt. We'd probably explode. I would definitely explode. So we're just flowing through it. We're not diving in deep to anything right now. We are just flowing through this energy. So let's just let's just make our way through this. Let's just keep going. Did I tell you guys I've been trying to record this for like 3 days? Did I mention that? Like I was trying to record it earlier and my earring broke. So this is fine. This is fine. Okay, my favorite part of the day is lying in my bed before bed. I love both being in my bed and I love being in my bed directly before bed. Those are two separate things. So being in my bed is great on its own. Being in my bed directly before I go to sleep is the best. It's the best. And it's the best because I'm finally able to relax. That is what I put. However, I know to me personally, the word relax doesn't mean very much. Like if I say, hey, I want to relax, I'm probably not going to be able to do it. I need to define what relaxing is. I need to define what it feels like in my body or what I like to use to help me relax. Or I need to put some words and some definitions in there because just the general term relax, I'm not going to get anywhere. And then also on the flip side of that, what is preventing me from relaxing? And that one was one that I really wanted to think about for a second. And what was preventing me from relaxing small bits throughout the day, right? Like, because why can't I take 5 minutes and sit down and relax 5 minutes before I do my next thing? And to that, I took some time and thought about it. And I came up with a lot of like physical pain body issue answers, which is something that, of course, I'm constantly working with my doctors and finding out what works best and the kind of the systems that work. And it also really brought to light the things that I can't change right now. And trying to come to terms with just being okay and finding ways to work it to my advantage. So finding ways to make it not as painful, not as terrible, and doesn't make my knees want to explode, right? Normal stuff. Just how can I work it better for me? How can I make it better for me? So maybe I'm not in a full relaxing, but maybe I can get to that relaxing stage a little bit easier, a little bit faster when I do have time to relax. My editing program just restarted itself like 2.5 minutes into the next clip. So we're going to redo this whole thing again. We're not fighting it. We're not fighting it, okay? All right, so favorite holiday. For this part, I'm using holiday two different ways. So I'm using holiday like Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, right? That type of holiday. And I'm also using the word holiday as another term for vacation, right? Like a lot of European countries will say holiday instead of vacation. So my favorite holiday, I'm choosing to use the word vacation, holiday in this part. You can do either, you can do both. My favorite holiday is a tropical vacation. We're recording in lots of short bursts now. I learned my lesson. We're not fighting it. Okay, so tropical vacation. What is it about a tropical vacation that makes it my favorite, right? And so from the favorite part of the day, I already had this whole like defining what relaxation is, defining what rest is. Like I already had all of that still in my brain. So I knew right away, I was like, okay, well, being able to relax again doesn't mean very much to me. I love tropical island vacations because I get to relax. Why do I get to relax? What is it about it that makes it the best part? What is it about it that I love so much, right? Like what, let's put some words to it. Let's put some definitions to it. Let's put some names to it. The first thing that I learned from that previous, like, what's your favorite part of the day exercise is that low pain makes me happier. Low pain helps me relax. So I like to be on a tropical island because I get to relax. But again, relax doesn't mean much to me. So what is it? It's because I have low pain. Okay. Good to freaking know. Doctor, please, I need a prescription to a tropical island because that's where I feel the best. It's not, is it too much to ask? Anyway, so it's low pain. Why is it low pain? Well, the first reason being it's warm. And when I'm cold, it hurts. I don't do great in the cold. I know I'm moving to the north. We're ignoring that for now. We're in denial. We're not talking about that. So warm is better. Warm helps me feel better physically. On top of that, the other part is that I don't have a ton of responsibilities on vacation. I am not running around trying to get it all done. I'm not running around cooking dinner, cleaning the house, picking things up from the store. I'm on vacation. I have low responsibilities. And so I generally just have more energy. Obviously, we're happier when we get to hang out more, but the physical pain is also less because I am doing less. And then I can apply the same sort of mentality that I did with the first one to this one, right? So all of these responsibilities triggers the pain, right? We have to get stuff done. What can I do that mitigates that pain just a little bit? What can I do to make it just a little bit easier? Sometimes it's, doing a Walmart pickup instead of walking through the store. Sometimes it's having my husband go do the Walmart pickup instead of either of us walking through the store, right? So what are these small things that I can start to implement that will reduce the pain and in turn literally make me happier, make me a happier person to be around, give me more energy to do things, all of the things, right? So we're finding those really, really small things that we can maybe adjust, but that's it. I'm happy to stop there. I don't want to deep dive more right now, right? So we're going to move on to the next one. And then, of course, if you wanted to come back to this when you were ready to deep dive a little bit more, just do your answers again. Just dive a little bit deeper. Just put some more words to it. Keep asking that, but why, but why, but why? And just, save it for when you need it. Okay. Favorite food, sandwiches. Bitches love sandwiches, okay? I'm bitches. It's me. I love me a good sandwich. I love it. They make me happy. Okay. Obviously, it's a good sandwich. Why does a sandwich make me happy? That's such a weird thing. Like, why does this sandwich make me happy? Well, it kind of reminds me of like warm summer days, warm summer nights, hanging out, just like you're kind of hot. You don't really want to do too much. You make a sandwich. Sometimes those sandwiches are so good though. Like, I love me a good sandwich. I like how simple but complex the sandwich can be. I love how I can have the same ingredients in my fridge and make a different sandwich with those same ingredients every single night of the week. I have so many grilled cheeses. My husband's like, I don't understand how you eat grilled cheese every single night. And I was like, well, they're my favorite and I can make a different one every single night and they're still my favorite. Whatever. I love me a good sandwich. I love the complexities of them, which is interesting. It's interesting to learn that about myself because I didn't realize that it was complex and simple. And I didn't realize that I actually loved that so much. I didn't realize that I loved the practicality of it and all of these things, right? So I'm learning new things about myself. And I was like, wow, what a cool thing for me to notice. I'm so sophisticated, right? Like, we're amazing. We need to learn how amazing we actually are. Next up, we have favorite color. My favorite color is purple. Purple makes me happy. I like when I look at it. And again, if we're having a bad day and I just surround myself with purple things, that could trigger the dopamine. But on top of that, I want to ask myself, why does purple make me happy? What is it about it? One thing that comes to mind when I ask, well, why do I like it? What's so cool about it? I think it's really cool that when I send out energy work or I do energy things, it translates as purple to other people a lot of times. And they're like, well, whenever I see this purple, I know it's probably from Rebecca, right? That's super cool. It's a super cool thing. But also I really love this lavender haze sort of vibe, the feeling of lavender haze. So the song Taylor Swift, Lavender Haze, it actually very much encompasses what I feel energy wise when I see the color lavender. It's a very, very like the energy of the song matches really well. And I really, when things match perfectly, it feels very good, like inside of me. I love when things match up, like the vibes and the energy. It's amazing. So I love when that matches up. I love the color purple. I love that it makes me happy. I love the dopamine rush of it. I also really love the historical context. You know, in my brain, I'm like, wow, purple's such a royal color. It's such a royalty color. And I'm like, yes, I am royalty. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for noticing. I am going to keep flying through this because we're about almost 15 minutes in and I still have 2 more pages after this. So, favorite time of the year. And again, this can be like your favorite holiday time. It can be a favorite vacation time. It can be your favorite physical time. So, for me, my 2 favorite times of the year are summer nights and harvest time. I love the energy of harvest. I grew up next to a dairy farm. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe it has something to do with the community around harvest. Maybe it has something to do with the traditions around harvest. I love harvest time. It fills me with kind of like when people say like, oh, imagine a warm light. It's kind of like a harvesty light to me. Like it fills me with that warm, like fuzzy feeling. It reminds me of get-togethers, of celebrations, of enjoyment, of community, which I, again, stress so much, but I also love the vibration. I love the energy behind community as well. It feels very, very comforting. It's a very just all encompassing. Everything is going to be okay. You're not alone. You have people to support you. We've got your back. Like it's a very just all around encompassing, very chill, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Just at ease. You know it's going to be okay because you're not alone. The next page is our dislike page. It is our poop emoji, thumbs down emoji page because there's not words. There's just emojis to express how we feel about these things. So the first one, we're going to talk about things we want to give up. You know how people are like, "Oh, don't give up. It'll be fine." No. Give it up. We're done with it. So for giving it up, it is something that I have that I am getting rid of. The next one is leave behind, which is something that society has or like a tradition you've been taught, not necessarily something that is coming from you, but something that you're just going to leave it behind, right? Like we're just done with it. Do you guys get it? Do you guys get the picture, right? Like she's behind leaves and you're leaving it behind. I know. Okay, next one. If you didn't like that one, you're gonna love this one. Worst memory. What is your worst memory? And get it? RAM, like computer memory, random access memory. Your worst memory. Okay, what's your worst memory? And for this one, I want you guys to again, we're not deep diving. Just like first thing that pops to your head, we don't need to overthink it. We don't need to stress about it. If you just know, like for me, you'll see that I don't actually have like a pinpointed one, but I have a general thing that brings up worst memory feelings. So I'll talk about that. For the next one, we have worst fear. Again, same thing. We're not deep diving. Just think about whatever comes to your mind. Or if sometimes, you think about your worst fear. Ever since I was a kid, I saw this episode on Charmed where this demon made their worst fears come to life. And ever since then, every so often I ask myself what my worst fear is so that if somebody ever uses it against me, I will know. I will know what's happening and I will know how I am reacting in response to that. It's really weird. I've always done it since I was a kid. I should probably get a therapist about it, but it's fine. What's your worst fear? And then the last one is why do we even have this? Like whether we do know why it exists or we don't actually know why it exists, like why did purple ketchup exist, right? So why do we have it? Whether it's something that we know why we have it, we're just going to throw it away, right? Like we're not talking about trying to fix something. We're talking about building something brand new from the ground up. So if you don't like that system, throw the whole system out. Why do we even have that system? Okay. Let me show you my real world answers. I hope you guys liked my jokes. Was it good? Did you laugh? Now, again, as you will see with my answers, if nothing specific jumps to mind, just look at the emotions that are involved, the things that are coming up when I say, hey, what do you want to give up? What's something that you have that you want to give up? If you don't have a word for what that thing is, just write anything down that pops up, right? Because we're just being aware. We're not deep diving. We're not going into it. We are taking the time that we need to recenter, recalibrate, all the things right now. We're just getting this ready for down the line, right? Like we're helping our future selves out. So anything that comes up, jot it down. It's okay to just leave it there. So for me, I don't really have a word for the thing that I would want to give up. It's more so the emotions that make my head dizzy, the emotions that like pop up that I don't understand them. I thought I've worked through them. Maybe they're just like body responses or just, I'm not really sure, right? I know there's a lot involved there. I don't want to look into it too much. I'm just going to emotions. And you'll see for this one, I mostly did pictures and that's okay too. Do it whatever comes out. If it's just a color, if it's just a shape, if it's just you beat the same spot on the paper for like a couple times because it made you so mad, write that down. That's fine. Whatever. So for me, it's habits, it's history, it's illnesses, it's all of the things that make me feel in that head encompassing, dizzy, not thinking straight face. I just want to give it all up. I don't want it anymore, right? Like, just, that's it. I'm done. Goodbye. And again, we're not worrying about like if we actually could just give it up. We're not worrying about if that's like actually something that can happen or not. We are simply stating, if I were to design my universe around me, I would not include these things in the design. That's it. That's all you're getting at, okay? What would I leave behind? What would I leave behind? Get it? I would leave behind the patriarchy. That's it. And because we're not deep diving, we're just going to leave it there. I think that we get it at this point. For the worst memory, again, we are not even a little bit deep diving, right? Like the goal of this is not to start processing any of it. The goal of it is to get it down, get it out, and be aware of it. So I do not have an exact, like, that's my worst memory. Some of you might not. That's fine. My worst memory, the emotions around it, the vibes around it, the things that come up around it, I can remember feeling those in a lot of situations, and many of them related to water. And so my worst memory, I just put some water. That's it. I don't need to deep dive. That's all. Worst memory comes up a lot of times when water is involved. That's all I need to know. Let's apply this to a hypothetical for a second. Let's say that aliens descended down and they knocked on my front door, right? And I am shocked. I'm completely shocked. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel about these aliens. Nobody prepared me for this, right? And so this alien is at my front door, and I have this initial shock on my face, and then I start to process. And I start to question, and I start to kind of ask myself, what do I feel? How do I feel about this, right? Let's also say that that alien wears like a reverse scuba suit where they are covered in water, where they have to constantly be surrounded by water, or like, they can't breathe. I feel like there's a SpongeBob episode that I'm describing. Anyway, let's say they have to be surrounded by water or they can't breathe. My reaction very likely might be initial fear, not because of the alien, but simply because it involves water. And that fear can cascade, that fear can build, that fear rolls down a hill, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more snow it picks up, right? The more fear it picks up, that snowball gets bigger and bigger until it really does truly snowball out of control, right? And so let's say I see that water and I have initial fear and I'm jumping to conclusions. I'm like, oh my gosh, well, the aliens are here and they have to be around water, and that means they're going to flood everything. And that means that we're all just going to drown. And boom, now I'm done. Now I'm closed off. Now I'm having a full body reaction to the hypothetical thought of just drowning, of not even like alien invasion, of just drowning. That is what sent my body up in shock. That is what sent my fight or flight. The idea, imagining drowning, right? And so it's easy to see how we can have these really intense reactions and not even really notice it because other things are going on, because bigger things are at play, right? Aliens have come down. I'm going to think that it's my reaction to aliens because that's the big thing that's happening here, right? Like, it's the aliens. We've had water. We haven't had aliens. My big thing that I'm trying to process right now is aliens. But water is involved. That's my worst memory. That's triggering so much. Water is involved in this. And if you look next, my worst fear is actually losing the ones that I love. So not only are we triggering my worst memory, but we're also triggering my worst fear as I'm imagining, hypothetically, everybody that I love dies because the earth is flooded because aliens have to swim, right? Do you see how this snowballs? This is crazy. This is a crazy hypothetical, and my heart rate has jumped and my head has gone from like in my body to way up here. And I noticed it. I noticed these things because I've spent a lot of time with my therapist noticing these things. But it's a lot of subconscious reactions. It's a lot of body involvement, and just knowing what my worst memories are, knowing what my worst fears are. I can keep that in mind as I'm trying to process. I can keep that in mind as I'm trying to work through these big things that are going on in a least biased way possible, right? Because I work really hard to be like as unbiased as I can. And I also work really hard to say when I am biased because that's important. And so knowing that my worst fear is losing the people that I love, knowing that my worst memories involve water, if I am going to advise you on these water aliens, I'm probably going to have some really big biases that I need to disclose to you guys. And I also encourage you guys to apply this to a lot of just what's going on right now, a lot of wars and political issues and all of these things. There's a lot of subconscious things that are happening, and I'm trying to find a way to say this without making it worse, but a lot of times they know what they're doing. The people that are doing like the fear mongering and stuff like that, they know that they're causing these body reactions. They are trying to elicit these emotions so that people have these intense reactions and they don't actually stop and think about why they're having them, what their fears are, what's at play, what their history is, right? They're just reacting. And so I really encourage you to keep this in mind and apply it to just whatever you feel like is relevant right now. The last one for this page, why does this even exist? My thing is money. I know why money exists, right? Like I have a lot of thoughts on capitalism. I've looked into it. I've done this whole thing about it. I've been to elementary school. I know why we have money. I don't care. I don't care. Why does it exist? I'm throwing it away. In the universe that I am building, that I'm building around me, that I'm building around the things that I want, whether they're selfish things that I want, whether they're impossible things that I want, I'm building it around the things that I want. I don't want money. That's it. Full stop. And I am verbally telling you guys when I'm making these full stops and why, because I really, really want to encourage you to also make these full stops, especially right now. We are just, if you feel anything start to come up, protect your peace. Protect your peace. Just be aware it's there. Now you know. Now you can be aware of it. That's all. That's all I want you doing right now. We're just dippy toeing just a teeny tiny bit. There's one more page I'm going to go through with you guys, and then there's a blank page of just like lines. And I really encourage you guys to kind of like pull everything that you've discovered together, pull that idea of like your universe, pull it together and put it on that piece of paper. Just like list it out, put it all together, write some quick sentences, feel what it feels like for all of those things to come together. Feel what it feels like if you were to just exist inside of that universe for just a split second. What would that feel like? And just really spend some time in that emotion, spend some time in that feeling. And the reason that I'm pointing this out and I'm really encouraging it is because you can use that for your manifestations. And all of this that we're doing right now, even though we're keeping it super low key, even though we're not deep diving, it really truly is going to work towards not just our own personal manifestations, but manifesting the collective environment, the collective sort of like way of thinking, the collective understanding of things in general, right? All of this is working towards learning about ourselves and manifesting what we want, both for ourselves and as a whole and as a community. But before you pull it all together, do this one last page first. This one's called Let's Build. So this page is more so about like jotting down ideas, bullet points, things like that, and then using the next page to really expand on them. As much as you want, as little as you want, totally up to you. So the first one is the things that we want to build our universe around. And I will show you my examples. Give me 1 second. The second thing is permission. Personally, for me, something that I struggled a long time with is feeling like I needed permission to do something, feeling like I needed permission to try to relax, feeling like I needed permission to have a bad day, to fall apart, feeling like I needed permission to just exist. Like, man, I still feel like I need permission to just exist. And so for that section, look at the things that you wish somebody would give you permission for, that you wish you didn't need permission for, right? You're going to build into your universe all of the permissions that you would ever want, all of the permissions that you would ever need. They automatically exist for you. But figure out the ones that kind of maybe feel the heaviest and focus on those for a little bit. And then the last one, we have a fillery ask, and I will get to that one in a second. Here are my answers. So 3 things that I would build around. I just picked 3 for this one. You can do as many or as few or whatever you want, right? I picked 3. The 3 things that I would build around community, I would build around celebrations, and I would build around healing. And you can ask yourself, why did you pick those 3? I know why I picked those 3. I picked those 3 a long time ago when I started looking at how I wanted my life to be. And these are some top 3 words that keep coming up every single time. So I believe that we cannot move forward without healing. I believe healing is the missing component to everything that's happening right now. If we were just given the opportunity to heal in a way that is truly all-encompassing, I think the world would be a much, much different place. Is that a possibility? Is that even feasible right now? Absolutely not. That's what I want. I'm manifesting it. I'm manifesting it for my life and for the community. I'm manifesting healing in the truest capacity, in the way that Spirit has explained it to me, in the way that it heals our body, in the way that it heals our soul, in the way it heals the universe and everything that we are connected to. Healing, I think, is truly what we are missing. Of course, there's other things that I want, though, right? I want celebrations. I think that celebrations are a big part of healing. I think that community is also a big part of healing, right? Because we cannot heal if we don't feel safe. We cannot heal if we don't feel supported. And we cannot heal and, work through those bad times if we do not have good times also. And so these are all 3 things that I think together would completely change the world if we were to be able to implement them in a really large and a really just true and authentic way. Is it possible right now? Absolutely not. But again, I'm manifesting them. And funny enough, some people might be like, Rebecca, that's crazy. You're nonsense. You're never going to be able to do that. Maybe I'll never see the results of it. Maybe it will never happen. I don't care. I'm doing it anyway. It's my universe. I just live here. I'm just a banana phone and everything's centered around me anyway. Isn't that cool? Okay, permissions. I would love permission to not be okay. I feel like that's a really hard one for me. I feel like we're supposed to keep it together, right? We're supposed to do these things. We're supposed to keep it together. We're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to not break down. Coupled with just like all of the media, all of like the weight of relationships, like all of these things. There's so much, especially as a woman right now. And I just really want permission to not be okay. I want permission to be a blubbering mess in my bed. And I want somebody to walk in and go, I completely get it. I want to not say a word. And then honestly, just be like, I understand, Rebecca, what do you need? And I feel like that's what we all need right now is somebody to understand, right? Okay. So I also want permission to just exist. I've talked about it a lot, right? I've talked about it a lot as a woman and also in Texas, whatever. I just want to exist. And I feel like somebody needs to give me permission to do that. I feel like I'm not existing in a way that people have given me permission to exist in, and it's causing issues. Again, I'm doing it anyway, but I wish that somebody gave me permission. I wish it was okay to be this way, right? Does that make sense? And also just to not have to do it all. The patriarchy, man. I'm not even good. We're just enough said. This is my favorite one. I've been waiting the whole video to get to this one because it is fun and it is chaotic and I love it so much. So I apologize in advance if The Magicians has not been your jam. If The Magicians, the show, The Magicians is just not been for you, I'm sorry I keep talking about it. They know too daggum much. I don't know what to do about it. So I'm going to do my best to talk about this without giving spoilers, but the part that I'm going to talk about is literally at the end of The Magicians, of the whole shebang, not just the end of a season, of the end of like the whole thing. So funny enough, at the end of it, they actually have to create a whole new world. And the world that they are creating, they want to bring in the best parts of Fillory, which I will talk about in a second. They want to bring in the best parts of Fillory, which is the world that they are trying to replicate and recreate. And they also want to maybe make it a little bit better, right? They want to maybe play around with it a little bit. And so for the Fillory ask, I want you, if you literally were magicking a whole new world, this is what you could create because you're a god. You're a god. You're a god. You're a goddess. You're a god. You're a goddess. Whatever. You can create it. Do what you want, right? So in Fillory, one of my favorite parts, they have opium in the air. The air is like, what, 2% opium at all times? And that is just, again, we would all be living in a completely different world if there was just opium floating around in the air. Why not? Also, they have at one point knife trees. I would love a knife tree. I weirdly like so many knives. I love them. I'd love a knife tree. I would have a knife tree. I would just sleep in a hammock around knife trees. That doesn't seem safe, but I would do it anyway. Eating optional. I also have a really big like annoyance with eating. I don't know. I don't enjoy it. I used to enjoy it more and I don't really enjoy it anymore. And I feel like sometimes I don't want to have to eat. I would love, my ideal situation would be for eating to be something that is done for enjoyment. Kind of like you go to a party and you have mixed drinks and it's fun. I want to go to a party. I want to eat. I want to enjoy fancy desserts and I want to enjoy really small crab cakes and I want to eat for the enjoyment of it, not for the necessity of it. Again, is it feasible? No, I don't care. I'm a goddess. I made this world. Eating is optional. We only eat small little cakes with the opium in the air around the knife trees. I don't care. Nowhere in the rules for this exercise does it say that things have to work out, that they have to be possible, or that they have to even be smart, right? Like, I don't care. Sleeping in a hammock under a knife tree does not sound smart. It's on my list anyway. It doesn't, I don't want you to worry about what ifs or that'll never happen. I want you to get rid of those because there's a lot of things that are possible in spirit that are not possible on earth, that are not possible as a human. And how can spirit tell us about those things if we can only see inside this human box? If we can't see outside the possibilities of what we have been taught and of what we have learned, how is spirit going to tell us the crazy stuff that's actually happening? So we're using that Fillory ask. We're asking for wild, outlandish things that we think would be amazing, right? So I've always been told you can never make everybody happy. And well, what if we could? What if we could make everybody happy without implementing all of those like really just icky things that Hollywood always comes up with, right? Do I think that it's feasible to make everybody happy right now? No. Do I think that the things Hollywood comes up with are ways that an evil genie would make everybody happy? Yes, absolutely. None of that matters though. What would it look like if everybody was happy? What would it look like if everybody was happy without being forced to act a certain way, without being forced to think a certain way, right? Like, what would that look like? To me personally, I think it would look like acceptance. I think it would look like everybody accepting one another, even if you don't understand, even if you don't get their point of view, right? We're just accepting truly in every sense of the word. And while that might not be feasible, right? It might not be feasible for everybody to be happy. I can accept people and I can make the people around me a little bit happier by being accepting. And so we can apply the same logic that way, right? We can take that little thing of like, well, what's that one thing that I can do that keeps my knees from exploding, that lets me have an easier night? I can apply that same logic on a grander scale. What's one thing that we could implement right now that would make society a little bit easier? What's one thing from this grand, amazing utopian like world that we have created in our brain? What's one thing that might actually work here that, hey, maybe we can give it a shot? So yes, we're being crazy with it. We're saying the nonsense things and we're getting used to thinking outside of the box. And we're not doing the deep dives right now. We're not doing this crazy stuff that I just talked about changing the world by just accepting everybody, right? But I wanted to show you that it can be implemented on a bigger stage. It can lead to really grand, big things just by asking yourself very simple questions, by being aware of very simple things that are happening. Okay, that is all I have for you today. It actually took me a really long time to record this video, so I'm sorry for all the cut takes. I'm sorry for all the times I had to come back. I've been trying to record this for so many days, and the energy is just, it's doing what it's doing. We're doing our best. We are all in this together. We are all doing what we have to do to make it through the day, to make it to the next day. Everything will be okay in the end. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I am saying it's going to be worth it. So stick around and let's see what we can change together. I can't wait to see you all next week. And I have really, really big, exciting, hopefully big, exciting moving news coming up soon. So while we get closer and closer to the actual, like, I'm doing it, I'm getting out of this state, I'm moving back up north, while we get so close to that, I don't have a day yet, but maybe soon I'll have a day. So when we get closer to that day, I will be giving you guys some updates on just like how I'm going to handle the Patreon stuff throughout the move. And then hopefully we will have other resources up with the temple that you guys can reach out to as well, while I'm kind of having the majority of my attention elsewhere. Also, Marlene's bookings did just open up. Please reach out to her. Her bookings are very limited and she does have the most recent ones filling up very, very quickly. So if you want to book with Marlene, do it now. Other than that, stick around. Exciting things are happening.